So, you know, normally I don't like to really talk about wrestling that much. Mainly just because it's not that I don't like wrestling, but it's because I'm actually a huge wrestling fan. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I am like a massive fan. Like wrestling, especially WWE, has always been one of my main hyper fixations for like since I was literally 3. WWE was one of the first like hyper fixations I ever had, and it is still something that is very strong. And WWE and the wrestlers and the characters and the stories still mean a lot to me. Um, it has literally been 15 minutes since SummerSlam 2025 has ended. And since the show has ended, night one, to give you the TLDR, night one, alright, it was fine, it was okay, it was whatever. Night two was really good. And now I'm an AEW fan. And you may be wondering, how so? What was so bad? So here's a little run up, right? So, July, alright, AEW is doing All In. I'm seeing all the highlights and stuff. I'm seeing all the clips on Twitter. I'm like, oh, this looks really interesting. I kind of wish I was watching this. And it's like, and then I look at what WWE's doing, and they're doing Saturday Night's main event with Goldberg in the main event. It's like, okay, whatever. I guess I'll watch it. And ever since WrestleMania 40, my interest in WWE has gone downhill, like, dramatically. Like, my love for WWE has, like, eviscerated. I am, like, beyond just like, it's just entered such a slog, and it's getting so much more corporate, and with all the celebrities and shit, it's just, I hate it. It's gotten bad. It's gotten bad. But Saturday Night's main event wasn't great, and All In, I was genuinely kind of tempted to start looking for ways to start watching AEW, and I'm watching All In, or I'm seeing clips of All In. Saturday Night's main event happens, so watch Saturday Night's main event. Evolution is happening the next day, and I watched Evolution, thinking it was going to be whatever. I loved Evolution. Evolution is probably one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. I loved the show. The show was great. Especially Io versus Rhea, the main event, I thought was easily probably top 10 match of the year. I don't care. It was an amazing match. And I was starting to have hope. They started building up to SummerSlam, and so SummerSlam happens. Alright, so now we're at the show. Night one. Again, this is just me ranting off the cuff, memory, just unscripted. Night one happens. Show starts. Roman and Jay versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Okay, it's whatever. Roman does, like, the cool dive and, misses. The Brauns are beating up the Samoans. They're doing their stuff. In the end, Roman and Jay win. It was a predictable outcome, but, it was whatever. It was a predictable outcome. It was an okay match to get the, big match, whatever. Then it was Charlotte and Alexa versus Judgment Day. I actually liked the match. I've been really invested in the women's division recently in WWE. Like, the women's division has been leagues better than the men's, mainly on Raw. SmackDown is a different story. But yeah, the Women's Tag Team Championship match was really good. I really liked the Women's Tag title match. Then it was Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. I like Karrion Kross as a character. I like the concept of the character. As a wrestler, God, I don't even think Karrion Kross is a bad wrestler. I just think he's a boring wrestler. He's the most generic nothing burger, like generic bad guy, strong bad guy wrestler you could find. The character and presentation is what makes me like Karrion Kross. And the match with Sami, it's fine, it's whatever. Sami wins, predictable. I don't see them doing much of Karrion Kross after this. And then it's Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton for the women's title. It's like, okay, it's fine. Honestly, the match is getting good, and then it just ends. Like, honestly, I feel like the match was just too short. Like, I really feel like they could have went longer with the match. They could have went longer, and I would have been fine with it. I just, I feel like they should have had more time. Then it was time for the co-main event of night one. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. I originally wanted to make a video actually ranting about Logan Paul, just talking about how much I don't like him in wrestling. I don't like Logan Paul in wrestling. It was cool the first few times, like 2022, it was cool. After WrestleMania 39, it just hit a point where, after WrestleMania 39, it just quickly became, okay, why do we still have him? we really don't need him. And he has just gotten worse and worse, and oh my god, it has gotten unbearable. And it's not even like, oh, well, he's a heel, you're not supposed to like him. It's not even like, oh, I don't like him because he's a bad guy sort of thing. I don't like him because I don't like Logan Paul as a human being, and I think he should genuinely do something very bad to himself. But, and I feel really bad for Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton for having to be involved with their bullshit. Jelly Roll, I thought, was fine. He was passable as a celebrity wrestler. No one's really beating Bad Bunny for me. But Jelly Roll, he was fine. And, you know, I was excited. I thought it was cool that Jelly Roll not only took the frog splash to the table, but then also took the pin. Like, he lost. Like, he took the pin and lost. I thought that was cool that he did that. He didn't want to be like, oh, that doesn't work for me, brother. No, he respects the business. And I actually kind of like that. And then the main event, CM Punk versus Gunther for the world title. Man, you know, I was expecting this to be whatever, like, okay. Well, obviously I knew it was going to be a good match, but I was expecting me not to be into it. Because, I don't know, I've always liked stories and, you know, cinema more. Like, I liked Prime Bloodline before they went to shit. But I don't know what it was. I really liked CM Punk versus Gunther. I loved the match. It was a good old style wrestling. It was just them beating the shit out of each other. Gunther being cocky and being like, you're an old man, I'm better than you, I'm Gunther or whatever. And Punk just fighting any way he could to get an advantage. And then eventually he makes Gunther bleed. Gunther's taken off guard by it, and that allows Punk to have the opening to hit the 2 GTSs on Gunther when Gunther had his guard down because he was like, I'm not this immortal god like I think I am. And that's how Punk capitalized to win. I love that. I love that, how Gunther only loses when he gets so in over his head that he gets taken back by when someone does actually hurt him. It's so great. I thought it was a great match. I love that he's celebrating. And I wasn't even a big CM Punk fan. Like, I like CM Punk. But it was like, man, I really, like, felt the story through the fight, kind of. I felt the wrestling part of it. And I was like, man, we finally got a main event to a WWE show that was just about the wrestling. It was just about the wrestling. And I loved it. It felt, and I know to people who don't watch WWE a lot, but watch other, like, wrestling, it's like, wasn't that supposed to be the whole point? Like, yeah, I get that, but it was about the wrestling and not the story. But because it was about the wrestling, it enhanced the story. I loved it. It was so good. And then Seth Rollins comes out, cashes in, and ruins it. And this is where I felt kind of weird. Because it started as, oh my god, I'm a Seth Rollins fan. And then it slowly over the years has become, he's alright. You know, he's okay. To now, when he entered the feud with CM Punk, to now, it's just like, can we please? I'm just tired. I'm just tired. And with Punk winning the title, him cashing in, it's, and I'm not even mad that he faked the knee injury thing. It's like, okay, cool on him. I'm just upset that they keep continuing on repeating the same fucking story of, oh, you left us and said mean things about us, over and that's the only thing he has. It's so so repetitive. How many times can you call this man a cancer before we just all scream in unison, okay, we get it, can you just shut up? And it was at the moment when it happened, I was excited, like, oh, this is cool. And then I went to take a shower, and as I thought in the shower, and as it went on, it just slowly ate away at me to the point where I woke up this morning, I was like, you know what, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I thought it was an unnecessary, just unnecessary fucking extension of the story, and I just wish someone else won that fucking briefcase. I genuinely just wish someone else won the briefcase. Or if he did cash in, Gunther would have retained. I, honest to God, would have rathered a feud between Rollins and Gunther. I really honestly would have. Because at least that would be something new. And it's not just repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again like it has. But hey, that was night 1. Night 2. Get to night 2. Opening match, Naomi versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley for the women's title. Not as good as Io, Rhea, and Bianca at WrestleMania, but it was still a good triple threat. I still liked it. I liked the ending. I like that they kept the title on Naomi. I like that they're keeping the they're making Naomi, you know, not look weak, but at the same time, she doesn't look the strongest, but she still doesn't look like she's weak and pathetic or whatever. It's not like Rhea hit the avalanche on Io and was like, screw this, and dragged Naomi's lifeless body for Naomi onto Io for the pin to retain. No, Naomi still won. She outsmarted them. And she got into Rhea's head because Rhea was so focused on beating Io that allowed her to come in and get the win. I liked it. I liked the triple threat. Just not as great as the one at WrestleMania. Then probably my favorite match of like the entire weekend of both shows was the TLC match. You had Andrade and Rey Fenix, DIY, Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits, and the champions, the Wyatt Six. I loved the Wyatt Six. I loved Bray Wyatt. And to the AEW fans out there who are watching this, seeing my AEW fandom form in real time, I'm warning you now, Bray Wyatt is my favorite wrestler of all time. I understand he was not the greatest wrestler, but I just really liked his characters. I liked his character work. I liked his promo ability. I liked his storytelling. And I get it, it's goofy, it's such a WWE thing. But, like, genuinely, I just like the Wyatt stuff because I just like it. I like the Bray Wyatt stuff a lot, and his passing really broke me. And honestly, was the first cracks for my love of wrestling, was him passing. But, and also, The Fiend was my favorite wrestling gimmick, so, yeah. So I like the Wyatt Six. I really like the Wyatt Six, and I'm glad that they won the tag titles. The match was amazing. I thought the TLC match was the most fun match of the weekend. I thought it was just... I just thought it was great. There were so many spots, like the DDT through the table by Johnny Gargano, then the splash through the table, then the senton through the table by Dexter Lumis, then the splash through the table by Rey Fenix, and then finally the Spanish fly through the table by Axiom and Angelo Dawkins was a great spot. I popped hard when Candice LeRae went through the ladder, because I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. I loved Tommaso Ciampa dodging the spear attempt by holding himself up. There were so many good spots. I love that it took every member of the Wyatt Six to interfere for them to win the match. I thought that was great. And I thought it was a great match, and I love that the Wyatts retained. I love that they get to have a longer reign. I loved it. Then was Becky Lynch versus Lara Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental title. I also thought that was a great match. I was just sad that the crowd didn't really care. Honestly, I feel like if you just put Becky and Lyra on night 1 and put, like, I don't know, Tiffany versus Jade on night 2, like, you just swap those two matches, honestly, I feel like Becky versus Lyra would have been more well received, just because there are so many no DQ matches. The only no DQ match, the only match that isn't no DQ on night 2 is Dominic versus AJ. That's the only one that isn't no DQ. Every other match is a no DQ stipulation. So I feel like it would have just really have livened up night 1 and would have allowed for more breathing room on night 2. But yeah, Becky and Lyra was a great match. I loved it. I think Lyra is a future star. She is a future women's world multi-time women's world champion. Genuinely, she deserves it. And I think Becky looks great. I like the story that the tongue with Lyra and Bayley. I think I thought it was a great match. Then was Solo versus Jacob. I am so done with the Bloodline Civil War stuff. Stop hiring the Samoans. We don't need more of them. We don't need more of them. We don't need more of them. I don't care. Like, it's like when every time they had, like, a new up-and-coming, like, a Hispanic wrestler, like they always just threw him some shit with the LWO. And it got to the point where it was like when Penta and Rey Fenix were debuting, it was like, don't put them with the LWO. Don't involve them with the LWO. Don't involve them with the LWO. Because we're just so tired of it. Because it's like, they can do other stuff. Like, the Samoans. You can hire all the Samoans you want. They don't all have to be involved in the Bloodline. They can do other shit. And I mean, that's what Jay and, Roman are doing. But still, it's like, they can do other things. But even then, Roman and Jay are still teaming because that's the original Bloodline. You can do other shit. You don't need to have them all be fighting each other. At this point, make it another fucking brand just for the Fatu, for the Anoa'i family tree. At this point, make another brand for the Bloodline if you care so much about their story. It was such a nothing burger of a match. And the ending was stupid because realistically, Solo Sikoa also should have got hit by the cage door when it slammed shut on both of them. But only Jacob got hit, even though Solo was also in the range where it realistically should have hit him in the face. I don't know. It was dumb. I liked Jacob Fatu. Before, but I like him. He's a good wrestler, but like, man, I'm just tired of the Bloodline, man. End it. It is not that good to where you need to keep extending it this long. It just end the story. And then Dominic versus Edge for the IC title. It was good. It was a good match. It was an okay good match. It was there. I thought it was good. I liked it. I liked Dominic Mysterio. I thought it was good. And then finally Cody versus John for the Undisputed Championship in a street fight. The match was a lot better than I thought it was. The first bit I would say was pretty boring and I was tuned out of it. I wasn't really paying much attention because the first half was just really nothing to me. But then that second half, like once they leave to fight outside the ring and they go into the crowd, from that point on I loved the match. I thought it was great. It was a great street fight. I loved the Cena rising with Cody on his shoulders from the Cody Vader. I loved the fact that Cena went Super Cena and kicked out of the three crossroads. I thought that was such a hype moment. Like, that was insane. And then for Cody to kick out of getting hit with 2 attitude adjustments and then an avalanche attitude adjustment, consecutively, I thought that was amazing. The ending, I was expecting them to turn Cody heel. I'm glad they didn't. But, I was expecting them to turn Cody heel. I'm glad they didn't. I liked the passing of the torch moment. I really liked the match. I'm glad Cody regained the title. I thought it was a really good match. And then the ending. This ending is single-handedly the reason that I have basically decided to just quit WWE. I do not like that they brought back Brock Lesnar. I don't. End of story. I absolutely fucking despise it. And I was happy. With the Seth stuff, on night 1, I was kind of expecting it. Night 2, I was happy to end the show. They were going to give Cena his flowers and, thank him. And I thought that was going to be that. And then the music hit. And my face was just frozen and just like just this dread of I'm not living in the real reality, am I? There's no way this reality that I'm living in is real. They brought back Brock Lesnar, a guy who, if you want your fix, a big guy doing big, impressive, strong stuff, literally the NXT champion Obafemi. He's literally right there. But hey, okay, well, if you want specifically Brock, why would you want specifically Brock? I don't know. Why would I want Brock? I want to explain this to you very clearly. Brock Lesnar was involved in the Vince McMahon sex trafficking lawsuit. The same lawsuit where it says for Lesnar to negotiate a contract for WWE, they forced this woman who was forced to do a bunch of already lewd, sexual, and extremely depraved acts already that I don't feel like explaining. Like, really bad shit to the executives, essentially forced her to start her little own OnlyFans of videos and content just for Brock Lesnar that she was forced into doing just for Brock Lesnar so he would resign. Kind of a thing, I don't know, kind of a little thing that kind of called, it's right there on my tongue, I know, human trafficking! They brought back a human trafficker, someone involved with the sexual exploitation of a human being for the sake depraved enjoyment of whatever he wanted. He just wanted to have this sick, depraved enjoyment of just being like, I want her to piss for me. I'm just. And people are like, oh my god, we wanted him. Who the fuck is we? I was more than happy when he left. I was fine when he left. I didn't like Brock Lesnar before. I was not a fan of Brock Lesnar before. Wasn't a fan of him when he came back the first time. I wasn't a fan of Ponytail Brock. I wasn't a fan of UFC Evil Fighter 600-day Universal Champion Brock. I'm not a fan of Brock Lesnar. And I am beyond happy that he left and was kicked out of the company and was just like erased. I was beyond happy. But no, let's bring him back. Yeah, sure, yippee. Let's bring him back. What? Did you have to sexually negotiate with? Did you have to negotiate? Did he ask for like videos of other women from TKO? Did he ask for other women this time for his contract? Who agreed to bring him back, huh? Who the hell agreed to bring him back? I'm done. I'm done. And if you think, oh, well, it's just that one bit, it's just that one day, it's not that, but what about others? Oh, I don't know. How about for like the last 4 fucking shows, all they've done is glaze Hulk Hogan. It's one thing if Hulk Hogan I understand him getting one tribute package, one thing, because he was a big deal. I get that. One thing. I understand that. 4. Across 4 shows. They played a tribute package and took time out of their schedule to be like, here's Hulk Hogan, he was such a great person, win. And it's like, I'm not sitting here and saying that his contributions to wrestling aren't important. I'm simply sitting here saying that they are insanely important, but yet other extremely important wrestling figures or people to wrestling in general never get so much as of a singular lick of the spotlight that Hogan got when he died. Terry Funk didn't, because you know what? He happened to die the same week Bray Wyatt did. So all they did for him was they shoehorned him in to the Bray Wyatt Memorial Show and had Cody cut one single promo about Terry Funk and did a subpar Extreme Rules match in honor of him. That was it. And like, what about like Iron Sheik, for example? Iron Sheik, he just got a tribute package. What about Scott Hall? He got a tribute package and Corey Graves almost crying on camera. That was it. Like, there was just so many legendary wrestlers that have passed in the past few years that have only gotten a tribute package. Luke Harper or Brody Lee, another example, just got a tribute package. Not even a tribute package, just a in memorial of screen. There are so many wrestlers who have done just as much like work for wrestling as Hulk Hogan does, as Hulk Hogan did. But just because they weren't the million bajillion dollar merch seller that Hogan was, they don't get shit. The business gives them a singular thank you, and that's it. Whereas Hogan, he gets 4 fucking unnecessary thank yous. For what? Making it so wrestling still to this day doesn't have a union? Making it so that so many wrestlers never got their time in the spotlight because he didn't want to share it? Fucking being a racist piece of shit Trump supporter? Like... And speaking of which, oh yeah, let's just glaze the fucking fact that Triple H was at the White House for the fucking Trump thing. Like, yeah, great. That's exactly who I want to see. I want to see him in my wrestling. Yippee. I'm done. You know, I've always sat there and watched AEW from the sidelines, seeing the highlights of it on Twitter, seeing the stuff on Twitter of it, and being like, man, this is cool, you know? But it's like, man, you know, I'm just not as interested in it as WWE is. And, you know, I hope WWE gets better and improves, and, you know, but I still like AEW, and now it's just hit this point of just, like, I'm done. Honestly, because, like, I don't want to leave wrestling. I love wrestling. Wrestling is, like, one of my favorite art forms ever. And yes, I'm calling it an art form, because it is. Wrestling is one of, if not my favorite art forms ever. I love the storytelling and the physical. I love wrestling. But, man, genuinely, I just can't be a WWE fan anymore. I'm done. I've had too many times of just getting hit over and over and over with just, like, disappointment after disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. It's just past over, like, a year and a half now. I've just been so burnt out of it, and it's like, I'm just done. I'm done. I just don't think I'm gonna watch WWE anymore. And I know that people are probably like, well, then just make the choice. Why are you wording it like it's some big emotional choice? Like, just stop watching it. But it's like, again, like I said at the beginning, this was my first ever hyperfixation. This was the first hyperfixation I ever had. This is my longest lasting hyperfixation. It's something that I've consistently always watched, something that I've always consistently looked forwards to. It's something I've attended so many shows for. I've been in person to so many WWE events. I have a lot of WWE merch. I mean, literally right here on my desk, I have a Fiend Bray Wyatt action figure with him in the Universal title. Like, WWE means so much to me. But I genuinely don't think I can bring myself to watch it anymore. You know what? Maybe I'll come back. Maybe it's just a burnout. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's a burnout. I just don't know anymore, man. I just feel lost. I guess. It sucks saying goodbye, but like, man, it's just, honest to God, I need to at the minimum take a break for God knows how long. I am so done with this fucking company, man.